Anyway, it is Big Tent week, and it is Thursday. The Big Tent ends and closes at 3 o'clock on this Sunday, and probably a lot of people will be leaving Quartzsite, but it is at its absolute peak. And this is my third season here in Quartzsite, and I'm going to say I am certain that it is way more crowded than it has in the other two seasons. I was here last year, and I was here in 2020, right before the pandemic. When I was here in January of 2020, no one even heard the term COVID yet. Oh boy. So, this device is going to give me a hard time. We'll see. You know, I'm always buying new gadgets and trying to go on Amazon and find new ways of doing things. My latest purchase, which will arrive in a week or so, I think, is a microphone for this, so my sound quality will be a little bit better when I'm driving and talking. We'll have a little microphone that can, plug in, and I just realized for the really long ones, I'm going to have my battery charged up pretty well because it plugs into the lightning port. So, anyway, so I didn't know what I was going to talk about today, but I do know I'm pretty committed to doing some form of video every day. And if you're subscribed to me and getting alerts, don't feel bad about, just not jumping off the stupid videos, because there are going to be plenty of those while I'm trying to find my way and my place on YouTube. But I do think it's important to have something every day. So what's going on today is I've already gotten rid of my black and gray water. I have a little trailer, and I use a tote. I put the plastic 36-gallon tote in the bed of my truck, and I use a macerator pump to pump the waste out of my tanks into the tote. I drive the tote to a dump station, I dump it, and I'm done. It's quick and easy. And I've done a video on that, but I think poop videos are important in RV life, but I think there's such a thing as too many poop videos, so I decided not to share that particular errand with you today. I am on La Posa South in Quartzsite, and I'm on my way into town, but before I go into town, I've got some trash in the back, and I'm gonna dump the trash so you can see what that's like. The other thing I think I want to talk about is I had an idea for a video, and I wanted to talk about basically what I want to do and get some feedback from you guys if you would like to make comments and suggestions. I'd be pretty thrilled with that. I'm coming up on the dump station for the regular rigs. I don't use that. There's what they call the Blue Boy dump station for the little containers. And there wasn't a line there, but there's a line of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in line, and you know what? That's not bad. That is not bad. And we'll look for cross traffic, and here are the big old dumpsters. And they're looking pretty full, and I have no doubt they're pretty full. So I am going to pull up here and put my little bit of trash in the dumpster. It's windy and there's no top. None of this stuff blows away. That'd be a shame. Wow, it is windy out there. And the dumpster's on a little hill, and it makes it even worse. But I got all my trash out. It's going to be a good day when you're a nomad in La Posa South and your trash is thrown away, your waste tanks are empty, and you're going to town like me to get a few key grocery items and 6 gallons, my usual 6 gallons of water every other day. Anyway, so here's the idea. I did a video a while ago about this long-term friendship I had with a woman that I initially had a crush on, and it ended up being more than a crush. It wasn't casual. It was I was in love with this woman, and she wasn't in love with me, and the sort of dynamics and drama of that played out over 30 years. And there was like a 10-year period where we weren't friends. We weren't talking to each other. We weren't communicating with each other. But that time period ended, and we're real good friends now. And I finally absolutely crossed the line where I don't have any sort of romantic or sexual feelings towards this woman, but I do have, even though we have very different sort of social and political views. You know what I'm talking about. They don't, when they're really different, they're really different. But I don't care. I have a deep, deep affection for this person. And I was thinking about, Rob, what do you really know about romantic relationships? You've never been married, right? So strike one, you've never been married. And, have you had like a girlfriend, a serious girlfriend for years? No. So strike two. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be doing videos on romantic relationships. Then I realized, there is an expertise that I do have. If you count making out with Pam Reynolds in the boathouse on Lake Keuka in 1972, that means I've been dating for 50 years. I'm talking about serious relationships. I'm talking about going out on dates, finding people to date, expressing desire to date someone that you're not dating, that you're friends with, and all that goes with that. I have a lot of experience in that. And that the video I did about my friend, and her name is Vishna, and she won't care, I don't think. I'm not going to tell you where she lives or her last name, but actually, I think about it, she still may not be hard to find, but you won't be sure. Definitely ask her permission before I say her first name. And if you're hearing this, she said okay. She said she was fine with it. So the video, I think, is about friendships with people that are the opposite sex or whatever sex you're attracted to, and friendships, how and when to take the risk to make that transition. When it's, quote, worth it, when it's maybe not worth it. Can disclosing your feelings to someone that you're friends with, that you've developed romantic feelings for, can it ruin the friendship? And should that be information you keep to yourself, or should you be taking the risk? Well, and I realize there are a lot of factors there and a lot of interesting things to talk about. And also the whole idea of, being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and maybe not getting the answer that you're looking for, that you want, and how to process the idea of romantic and or / sexual rejection. And this will be from pretty much a man's point of view, because that's the only view I'm capable of having. But I thought that would make a really interesting video. And my friend and I talked about it for about an hour the other day, and she seemed to think it was probably a pretty good idea, and it might make a really interesting, good, entertaining, and maybe educational video.
So the other thing I have going for me is, here's the guy that's never been married and hasn't had any long-term romantic relationships. But I've operated as a licensed therapist and a marriage counselor. I don't do marriage counseling anymore. One, I'm retired and I only see a few clients a week because I need to keep my income down. But before the pandemic, I was doing in-person marriage counseling for several years, and I did very well. I think I was a good counselor. There are basic techniques that you learn. What makes a marriage work well from sort of a not only psychological but basic human emotional way. And I got a lot of pretty good training, and my style of therapy seemed to fit well with that. So I'm going to say I was a pretty good marriage counselor. Not great, but pretty good. So I bring that experience to the table as well. And so here's a guy that has, 50 years of dating experience and maybe 3 to 4 years of couples counseling experience. So maybe there is some value that I bring to the table here that is kind of different from what you may typically get with people that are, very experienced with long-term, intimate, deeply connected relationships. That's not personal experience that I'm able to share because I don't have it. But I'm going to share this other stuff that I do have, and I want you to kind of respond to this and tell me what your thoughts are, what you'd like to see. If you think it's a good idea, I want to hear you. If you think it's a terrible idea, believe me, if I get, one person saying, hey, this sounds great, and 10 people say, Rob, this sounds, you're well-meaning, you're a nice guy, but this sounds like it's not a good thing, I probably won't do it. So I want to listen to what you have to say. You might have even followed my videos. I'm getting pretty close to the magic 1,000 subscribers where you become monetized, and I've said in prior videos that that's a goal of mine. Goal, though, is not to make any substantial money doing YouTube videos. I have my retirement, I have my few counseling sessions a week, and I'm very, very happy financially. But it is a very fun thing for me to do, and I think the reinforcement of getting, we're talking maybe $100 every couple of months if I do well, is it's part of the fun. And my plan is, if I make any money at all, I think the minimum payout is $100. So it'll probably take me a while to build up enough to get that $100. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoil myself. Every time I get a check from them, I'll take the money and spend it on something that isn't maybe terribly frugal. So that's my plan. Oh, and I was going to say, if you're watching my videos, at the end of them, you got Dottie saying we need new subscribers. Then I have these canned things at the end with music that say like and subscribe. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm close enough. I'm within, I don't know, I think 55 of the 1,000. If I have some patience, I'll get there. But I don't want to be asking people to subscribe to my channel anymore. And where did I get that from? A friend of mine mentioned, hey, you're asking for subscribers. She was an experienced YouTuber, and she suggested that I didn't need to do that. And then if you guys are familiar with Wonder Hussy, she's based out of the Las Vegas area. She lives in the desert near Death Valley, and she does wonderful videos on hot springs and ghost towns and abandoned buildings, and she is an enthusiastic YouTuber who I actually ran into twice in Nevada happily and got a selfie picture with her. So she's got a couple of, I think almost 250,000 subscribers, and it's her full-time job. And I have a lot of respect for what she does. And she just had a video where she explained how she does videos and what her philosophy is. One of the things that she said that resonated with me, she says, I will never ask you to like, subscribe, or hit the notification bell, because I feel like if you enjoy my videos and you want to subscribe to my channel, you're all perfectly capable of figuring that out on your own with me, and I'm going to follow her example. So I'm not going to be asking like, subscribe. I really, frankly, got a little carried away with that because I got in pursuit of this 1,000 subscriber mark, and now that it's going to come. There's no sense of urgency about it, and I just want to do some videos. So you can see I'm in Quartzsite. It's a little before 10 in the morning, so it's not absolutely insane crazy. I'm gonna go up here to, all right, I'm gonna tell you guys a little secret, and I think I'm a small enough channel, so I'm not gonna ruin this, at least for this year. But there is a water kiosk at the Burger King up here, and it's 4 quarters gets you 5 gallons, and then it's, if you want 6 gallons, you'd have to put in 5 quarters. So I have my container is 6 US gallons. So I've been coming here, and I noticed I put in for the 5 gallons, and it fills my 6 gallon thing and keeps going. So I thought it was just an oddity one day, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, and I did it again and again and again. So obviously this is my go-to water. I really don't know how much water 4 quarters will get you here. But it's a little more than 5 gallons, so it's costing me 4 quarters every time I come here and fill up my little container, so I'm going to stick with that. And even if they fix it and it costs me 5 quarters, I'm more than happy to give them 5 quarters. You know, as I mentioned, instead of hooking on my trailer and pulling it someplace to fill the fresh water tank, I just put fresh water from kiosks in there, 6 gallons at a time, and I pretty much managed to keep all the water I need. And this is the first time all season there's been someone ahead of me. Who'd have thunk? I'll be back.